I wish I had a more interesting way to start these videos, but I don't have one. So here are my favorite things from May. As usual, we're going to start with my favorite books. I have two to talk about. The first book that I would like to talk to you about is Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. I read this book with my friend, and this was a hoot. I feel like that is the best way to describe how fun this book was. I had so much fun reading this. Daughter of the Pirate King is about a daughter of the Pirate King. She's the daughter of, like, the king of all pirates. And she gets kidnapped at the beginning of the book. But little do the kidnappers know, she knew they were going to kidnap her, and it was part of her plan, along with her father, the Pirate King. Because the people who wanted to kidnap her for ransom have something that her and her father want. So she allows them to take her aboard their ship and hold her prisoner without them knowing that she's letting them do this so that she can search their ship for the thing that they're looking for. And it is just so much fun. I had such a good time reading this. The main character is absolutely hilarious. She's so funny. I laughed out loud and snorted while reading this book. And it was also just a very quick and easy read. It like sucked me in from the very beginning, and it was just very easy to just keep reading. It was very engaging, and the writing was, simple without being dumb, simple enough to just make it easy and fun to read. This book also features enemies to lovers for people who like that, but not abusive enemies to lovers for people who don't like that. There's obviously some stuff that happens at the beginning that is not ideal for the start of a relationship, like being held prisoner. But they actually take advantage of each other and deceive each other. So they both do it to each other, and it's also not like heavy stuff that happens. Now, I will say there is a little bit of talk about sexual assault in this. Nothing actually happens. It's just talked about because it does happen in this world, in case that's something that people would like to be warned about ahead of time. I don't like books that deal with sexual assault. Sometimes it happens in books anyway, but depending on how it's written or how it's talked about, it's easier for me to read about. And this is, it's mentioned fairly lightly. And there are a couple times when the people who do these things or want to do these things get what's coming to them. So, but just in case it's something that would like really throw you out of the book, really make it difficult for you to keep reading if you weren't aware that that was in there, I thought I'd give you a bit of a warning. But again, it's not detailed, it's just talked about a little bit. But anyway, this book was so much fun. It was hilarious. It had love. It had deception. It had sword fights. It had magic. It was just like pretty much everything that I was looking for in a book that I didn't know I was looking for, if that makes sense. I'm surprised at how much I enjoyed this book. Like, I didn't obviously think I was going to hate this book, otherwise I wouldn't have bought it. But I didn't realize just how much I would love it, because it was fantastic, and I really want to read the second one, but I need to find it in the same cover, because the covers have changed. So I need to find, like, a used copy of the second one, so that it matches this one. The next book is a graphic novel, and that's The Moth Keeper by Kay O'Neill. This is just a very cute and cozy story. So this story takes place in a magical land, specifically a town that stays awake only at nighttime, and many, many years ago they were gifted these glowing moths by this moon goddess, moon spirit, that can pollinate this night tree that gives them blessings throughout the year. And it is about Anya, this person here, who is becoming the new moth keeper, who's the person who basically watches over the moths at nighttime and makes sure that they don't fly away and makes sure that they go into this tree whenever the sun comes up. So she has a very isolated life because she has to be out by herself with a lantern to make sure that the moths stay where they are and they don't fly away. And it's about her, learning how to be a moth keeper, about her learning about herself and enjoying, like, being alone doing this, but also kind of dealing with it, because even though she enjoys it, there's things that are difficult about it as well. There's like some emotions and stuff. She's got a friend who she can't really see anymore because she's doing this Moth Keeper thing. It's just cute and cozy and lovely. It was just a very nice story, and obviously it has beautiful artwork. I really enjoyed it. I would probably read this again. So we're going to move on to my favorite movies, which I also have 2 to talk about. The first one is Suzume, which I saw on Netflix. It's an anime movie that is about this girl in high school named Suzume who meets this slightly older, mysterious boy on her way to school who asks her where the nearest ruins are because he's looking for a door. Of course, she's very intrigued, so instead of going to school, she goes to the nearest ruins that she gives him directions to and finds this door that he was probably looking for. And when she opens the door, it shows her this different magical land. But when she walks through the door, it disappears. So she can look at it through the door frame, but she can't walk into it. And she ends up finding this cat statue near the door that she picks up. This cat shows up and turns the mysterious, slightly older boy into a chair. like a little children's chair that only has 3 legs. And so Suzume and Chairboy are now chasing this cat across Japan, trying to get him to turn him back into a human, while also doing things that have to do with these magical doors at the same time. And, okay, first of all, just the visuals of this chair running through the streets of Japan and leaping across things and jumping up high to try and save people and save the magical lands was hilarious. It cracked me up so much. I thought it was so funny. Just this girl in this chair. Like, it's just this little chair, like, literally running. And, like, people in public in the movie notice this chair and are like, oh my god, did you see that chair running? It was so silly, but it was a really good story. It was very exciting, and it had so many emotional twists, and it was obviously stunning visually. Beautiful landscapes, artwork, colors, everything about it was visually stunning. So anyway, this movie was fantastic. I will watch it again. I feel like it's up there in one of my favorite anime movies, like with Spirited Away. It was so good. The next movie that I'm going to talk about is only 15 minutes long, and you can watch it on YouTube. It is an Uncharted fan film starring Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake. And let me tell you, this movie has everything that I'm sure Uncharted fans wanted and was able to do within 15 minutes that the Hollywood film couldn't do in 2.5 hours. Like, it was absolutely incredible. And I didn't hate the Uncharted film. I thought it was a lot of fun. And I liked some of the nods that they had towards the video game, which is why I talked about it as an honorable mention in one of my previous favorites videos. But it didn't touch what this 15-minute film did. Like, it had pretty much everything that the Uncharted games would have, except for rock climbing. It didn't have, like, you know, like jumping and leaping and swinging and stuff. But it had, like, a tiny little part that I know was supposed to be that, like, as much as they could do in this 15-minute film, with, like, a smaller budget, obviously, because it was only 15 minutes long. But it was incredible. First of all, I don't know how they got Nathan Fillion to be a part of this. They obviously are big movie people already. I don't even know. I don't know. I have no idea how this works. But Nathan Fillion is the best Nathan Drake. Besides Nolan North, obviously, who is the person who played Nathan Drake in the games. He had his sass and sarcasm down to a T. He was fantastic. He also looks like him. Like, I didn't even realize. He was the perfect Nathan Drake. He captured the essence of Nathan Drake perfectly. And this 15-minute film was fantastic. It was funny, and it was exciting, and it was adventurous. It even had like kind of gameplay recreation scene, and I can't say anything else about it because it's only 15 minutes and I'm going to give everything away. You have to watch it. It was absolutely incredible. I've watched it twice already. I will link it in the description for you so you can watch it. It came out 5 years ago, I think. I just saw it in May, obviously, which is why I'm talking about it now. But they did an incredible job, and they need to make a full-length movie with Nathan Fillion playing Nate, because he was made for it. Like, it was so good. Like, I can't believe how amazing they did on this 15-minute movie. Like, it was so good. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is a video game, and that is Kena, Bridge of Spirits, which is so many things. It's, first of all, beautiful and charming, adorable, adventurous, magical, exciting, stressful, and scary. It's so many things. And it's so funny because when I first started playing it, I was like, what a cozy game. This game is so cute and cozy and wonderful. And then I came to the first boss and I was like, oh, never mind. This isn't cozy. It has cozy aspects, which is great. But the bosses are very bossy. I'm playing Kena on the PS4. I'm actually not done it as I record this, but I'm almost done. By the time this video goes up, I probably will have finished it. I'm pretty sure the next time I play it, I'm gonna beat it. I don't have much left, but it follows this girl, Kena, who's a spirit guide who helps spirits move on in the afterlife. And in this particular story, she is tasked with finding 3 corrupt spirits who are plagued with this corruption that have destroyed this village, basically. So there's a lot of destruction within the village that she has to repair, as well as find these spirits and help free them. And it's very emotional. The cutscenes are really, really well done. The acting is great. The animation is delightful. But the things that you find out about the spirits, what happened to them when they died, and what's happening now that they're moving on and stuff like that, is like, I cried multiple times. So it's not heavy the way like The Last of Us Part 2 is heavy, but it is emotional and it is sad. But to help break up the sadness, there are these adorable little creatures called Rot that follow you around and help you fight the monsters and help you restore the forest and the village that you're in. And they're so cute. They're like, I can't get over how cute they are. Like, I love them almost as much as I love Koroks, and I love Koroks a lot. And you can buy them hats. It's the cutest thing. So that's a delightful little aspect to the game. It is hard, though. I started playing it on the second easiest difficulty level, which I usually do. When I start a new video game, I'll play it on like the second easiest mode, or on like the middle, like on moderate, and then if I need to move it down throughout the game, I will. Like, I played the first chunk of Uncharted 4 on moderate, and I had to move it to light, like maybe a quarter of the way through the game or a third of the way through the game. And I played Kena on the second easiest level, probably equivalent to light as all these other games. And I did a few bosses, but I hadn't done, like, there's like 3, possibly 4, I'm not sure, just because I haven't finished it yet, but there's at least 3 like big main bosses, and I hadn't gotten to the first big main boss yet, but I had done a lot of like the other little bosses throughout. And I think it was maybe the second to last boss before you got to the first big main boss that was just wild. I died so many times, and I couldn't get this boss's health down below half, and it was getting frustrating, and it wasn't fun anymore. So I changed it to the easiest mode, and since then, every single boss I've come across, I've maybe died once. Sometimes I do it without dying at all, which is like slightly less fun because it's less of a challenge, but it's more fun because I can actually do it.
Future Nat here. I just beat Kana, Bridge of Spirits, and I am not okay. He was very emotional. Also, the final boss was ridiculous. Like, I only died once, but still, it was ridiculous.
I feel like this for a lot of games, actually, that the jump between the easiest level and the next one up is too big. But anyway, I'm getting through it. It's so much fun. I'm playing it with my mom. I played Uncharted with her and The Last of Us Part 2 with my friend SJ. And we're recording it and putting it up on YouTube as a playthrough. I do have the first episode up already. And I'm aiming to have an episode up every week, hopefully. And I think it's going to be 9 episodes. So it'll take 9 weeks for the whole thing to come out. It's a very good game. I'm actually very excited to play it again in the future after knowing what to do for certain things. Because we had to Google some things. We did a lot of wandering around that I will cut out of the gameplay so it doesn't get boring or repetitive. But there was a lot of times where I had no idea what I was supposed to do or where I was supposed to go or how to figure out some of the puzzles. But I think it'll be really fun to play it again in the future after knowing what you're supposed to do. Just like Breath of the Wild. I got my nephew to start playing it a little while ago, and it was so fun watching him play and knowing what he had to do. And sometimes he would give it to me if he didn't want to play but he wanted to watch or whatever, and it was so much fun for me playing it knowing how to do a lot of things and knowing where to go. And I kind of really want to play Breath of the Wild from the beginning again after knowing everything. It's just this whole different experience. I have to finish Tears of the Kingdom first, but so yeah, it was a very good game. And I think the playthrough is going to be a lot of fun because, first of all, the rots. You should watch it just for the rots because they're so cute. Although I think the plural of rot is just rot. I don't think it's rots with an S. It's just the rot. You should watch it for the rot. They're so adorable. I can't handle it. I also feel like the game is fairly family friendly. So I have taken out Anytime I Swear in my gameplay for the my commentary so that it is a family friendly watch. The game does get a little spooky, I guess, towards the end, and none of the violence is gory or anything like that. It's all magic. So there's no guns or anything, and when the monsters that die, they just kind of explode into this golden light, and when Kana dies, she just falls over. So it's kind of in Zelda. I feel like I would compare the violence level to the violence in Zelda. Anyway, I think those are all of my favorites that I have to talk about for May. And we'll see you in July for my June favorites.